Hey guys. Friends. It's with work.
Hey Danielle, how you doing?
Eric, can you hear? You can't hear me?
I didn't hear you, Danielle, but I can't hear
anyone else. Is Cheryl the
Yeah, is Cheryl trying to
She's not. Maybe she doesn't have it on yet. Who else is there? Hey Suki, can you hear us?
I can hear. You didn't ask me, but
Okay.
Hear you guys.
can you hear the video? That's or the Studio 928.
Do you know you can't hear her?
I can hear you all. I can't hear her. It looks like her mic is muted, like she's signed up to place it.
Who's
Is it Cheryl? We can't hear you.
Bunch of people are still trying to get in too. I'm guessing that means we need water.
Huh.
Can I share your water?
Yeah.
Nell, do you have her cell phone number?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
What else you got, Mommy? Like you want a honey? Yeah, but you're gonna need to open it.
What are you doing?
Hi, this is Nell with the Kipp group. We can't hear you, but we think you're talking to us. We're like, we think she means water, but we can't. Okay. She's taking care of it.
Hey y'all.
Yay!
I just want to share that.
All right, take two. So Nell's calling me because she's like, we can't hear you. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that you know everything that I said before. Hi there. I'm Cheryl Vargas and I'm owner of Studio 928, where there's always time for art. And I'm here because Nell Frame found me in the sea of artists on Google and contacted me about presenting a painting experience for you guys. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'm hoping everyone can hear me, right? Okay. I was introducing my able-bodied assistant, Danny Vargas, who also happens to be my son and the camera person. He's the man with all the angles, as in camera angles. So he also chirps in now and then with some much needed comedic relief. So without further ado, I want to make sure that you have everything you need. I think I started doing this earlier in Vanna White style. You'll need something to drink, hopefully not water like what I have. And then secondly, you'll need your paintbrushes. You should have a number 14 and a number 12 paintbrush, which are the only two paintbrushes we're going to use for this particular painting. And then you should have a palette knife, which you use to remove the paint from your container and put on your palette. So tonight we're not drawing the image on the, or tracing the image on the canvas first. We are going to paint the background of the canvas first, and then use our little blow dryers. Don't forget your blow dryers. And then we're going to dry the area, and then we'll transfer the image onto the canvas. So the reason why, you probably can't tell, but the reason why I have 3 canvases stacked here. You want to go to the camera, Daniel? Thank you. I have 3 images. I paint this image a lot. It is very popular. So this is probably the one that is the sample in your kit. And it's probably the first one of the hummingbirds that I did. Then there's this one that I did, I think last night. And then there's this one, which I think is my favorite. And the reason why I show you these is because even though you have a reference image that represents what we're going to paint tonight, how it comes out is 100% up to you. So there's no right or wrong way to paint this image. As a matter of fact, as you probably know, hummingbirds have all kinds of different colors and all kinds of different features. So whatever you decide during the time that we're painting together that you want to attribute to your bird, what kind of attributes you want to add, is entirely up to you. So as you see in this one, I put some little facial hair, like a little goatee, and then some hairy little eyebrows right there. So without further ado, oh, and the last thing you're going to need is some water. You should have 1 or 2 containers of water. I usually have 2 and then forget that I have 2 and just keep using the muddy water. Thank you, Daniel. And then what else? Oh, you need like a paper towel or something. I have my trusty overly used paint cloth here that I've used several times. Okay, so let me make sure there's no one else in the mating room. You didn't know we had a mating room, did you? In the waiting room. Yeah, I think everybody's here. So the only thing that's left is that, Daniel, I would like to see the people who are here, and I can't see them. So can you help me with that? Okay, so, oh, here's someone else. Adriana is joining us, and let's see. I think that's everybody.
I think there were 21 registered, but we might be missing one.
Okay, am I? All right, okay.
So there might be 2 more people who are coming.
Can I show my canvas here? Oh, he says he can only be in one place in one time, and I beg to differ. Have you ever heard of, what is, not Aquaman, but who is the guy that moves really fast? I don't know. Flash, yeah, okay, so let's let him do that, and then I will say hi to you. I want to see you. That's the great thing about Zoom, is being able to see everybody, right? Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you some preliminary strokes that we're going to need to know in order to finish this painting. So we're going to take our number 14 brush, which is a flat brush. Okay. And we're going to dip it in water. And hold on just a second. Danny's doing the camera work here, so I'm going to get you the right view that you need. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you're going to need your number 14 flat brush, and you want to wet it and just lay it down for a minute on your table. Then we're going to take our palette knife, and we're going to do this with blue, I think. Yeah, we'll do blue. Oh yeah, there they are. So we're just going to take a little blue, and I'm going to need my palette colors too on the screen. I can handle that part if you can get my palette up. I need him to be faster. flashier. He's very patient with me. Okay, so we're gonna put down some blue paint on the palette. And this is just for experimental purposes. So you're not missing anything right now. I'm just gonna show you how to use your brushes. And then I'm gonna take a little white because I don't want this to be too dark. And I'm just gonna show you some techniques that you can accomplish with your brushes that you have, okay? So I'm gonna take a little white and, I'm sorry, this is blue, I do know that. And I'm gonna move this into the white and we're just gonna make like a powder blue. Okay, so did you notice the ratio? So there's a lot of white and then I just take like a little dot of blue to get this kind of sky blue color. Okay, and what I wanna show you is this. So we're gonna take that brush and it should have been dipped in water. And these brushes are really wonderful student quality brushes. So you're gonna get a nice crisp edge on your brush. It should look like this. Okay. And then we're gonna just tap it on your paper towel to take out the excess water. And then we're just gonna pick up a little blue just on the end like this. See how there's not too much there, just enough on the tip. And then we're gonna go over to the canvas and I just want you to hold the brush at an angle, like, I don't know if that's 45 degrees, I'm not good at geometry, but we just lay the brush down like this. And then I just want you to pull in a straight line with minimal pressure, okay? And you should get a nice thin line. If it didn't come out thin the first time, that means you put too much pressure. So you just lightly press down and you just move slowly across the canvas like that. Now, if you press down harder, you're gonna get a fatter line. And getting a fatter line is a good thing. So you press down a little bit and then you lift at the end and you get a nice pointed tip. See that? Can we zoom in a little bit on these strokes, Danny? Okay, so again, I'm gonna repeat the process for anyone who missed it. So basically, my brush is nicely loaded with paint. And I've used this light color because this is actually gonna be the color of our sky. So I just place my brush down at an angle and I'm very lightly touching the canvas and I'm just dragging it slowly across. That gives me a thin line. We're going to be using this thin line technique again during the painting, so you want to see about mastering this, okay? So just do a couple practice lines. And this fat line is going to be important too. Fat, press and lift, press and lift, press and lift, and you get that. So we're going to use that for wings. So you want to make sure you got that right. Okay?
Hi, everybody. I get to see everybody. Hi, Katie and Eric and Nell and Irene. And wow, look at all of you guys. You look great. Hi. I'm easily excitable, so you have to forgive me. I'm in my studio alone a lot, doing these virtual paintings, you know. So I can't really wait until we get back to the point when we can do in-person events. I'm in Oak Park, Illinois, by the way. So we're slowly opening up and allowing like 10 people at a time into my studio. But in the meantime, you know, it's a virtual party. So I love to see people on the other end. Okay, so now we're gonna get started for real. And I'm gonna show you again how to mix that color in case you just came in and you missed it. I'm gonna check the waiting room one more time and make sure we have everybody. I think we have 18, so we might be missing a couple people, but hopefully the doorbell will ring and I will hear them. Okay, excellent. So what we're gonna do, and if your brush is wet right now, just go ahead and shake it around in the water so it doesn't get dried out. Acrylic paint dries really fast. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna use quite a bit of this blue. We'll start at the top at this time. And we're gonna take quite a bit of white and just lay it down on your canvas with your palette knife. Try not to press too hard because these are cheap little palette knives. We don't want them to crack on you. So take it easy. And then blue, you just want like that much blue. This is how you mix colors. So you add that little bit of blue to the white, and we want that little sky blue color. And actually, I want this a little bit darker, kind of like this previous blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. We add a little bit at a time because it's easier to deepen colors and pretty much impossible to lighten colors, unless of course you use a lot more paint, which is wasteful, and you don't want to waste paint. Paint is expensive. So we'll add some more till we get the blue we want. Yeah. So it's up to you what color your sky is. That's up to you because it's an abstract sky anyway. Okay. So I'm going to leave this as it is. I'm kind of happy with that. I'm taking my palette knife and putting it in the water because you guys are going to paint. You want to make sure you preserve your tools so you can use them again. And I've dipped my paintbrush into the water to wet it because you're going to need some wetness to distribute your paint on the canvas. So I'm going in with a little more paint than we use for those straight lines because we have to cover a lot of area. But we're going to use the same technique I showed you a little bit ago. So we're just doing this. We're just back and forth, back and forth. And we're going in an arc. So how about if we make a mark here at one corner, a mark about right here in the center, and a mark right here, and then just try to stay within those parameters. So your strokes are, you're still placing and lifting so that you get this fan effect, because we're going to blend the top, the blue, with the green that you see in your sample image. So I'm just going around like this. And notice how my ends, I'm lifting the brush, I'm flicking the paint. You shouldn't have a hard line that's going across your canvas. It should be, you know, willy-nilly, but, you know, with some direction. And we're just, if you're having some trouble with coverage, it may mean that you need a little more water on your paintbrush. So go ahead and wet it and then go back into your paint color. And just continue this kind of a motion so that you end with these little points all across your canvas. And don't worry about if you're not keeping up or if you even want to paint slower. It's okay, because as you could see, I've painted this a few times. So on my YouTube channel, I have this painting there in case you want to go back and refer to it later. Okay, so our objective here, oh, I forgot to mention that all professional painters like you go to the sides of their paintings and make sure that the edges are covered. Mm-hmm. Nothing like seeing a great painting and then see that the artist didn't take the time to cover the sides. You gotta cover the sides. And so, yeah, so you're just trying to fill in all the canvas. We don't want any naked canvas showing through. And again, if you're having trouble with spreading the paint, it means you need a little more water, not too much. So I'm doing a back and forth with my paintbrush, not too hard, because you don't want to lift off the paint that you've already applied. And if you find yourself needing some more paint, just remember the principle, it's more white and less blue. Go ahead and mix up some more. Doesn't matter if it matches up perfectly with what you've already done. And then do we have any trivia yet?
Any what?
Because we have some trivia questions hiding over here. Okay, and then
Am I the only one who think this is
so
hard?
I'm gonna go in and
Oh,
some of these
I
areas
need
where
more
there's
paint.
blank spots.
I think I'm gonna name my painting willy-nilly after I just do it willy-nilly.
My roommate used to paint. She made
So
a
as long as you're in, looks kind of
Sharon,
like
can you
that,
hear
kind of
us?
jagged. You know, it's not perfect. It's a little willy-nilly.
I'm just keep talking to y'all.
See, that's my painting, willy-nilly.
Oh, there was a question. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm busy over here painting. So who had a question? Someone have a question? No?
Can
I
you
see
hear
Eric.
us?
There's people who are unmuted. How come I
We're gonna
can't
be
hear you?
unmuted
Oh,
so we
maybe
can
because I
talk
have
to
my
each
sound
other.
turned off.
Is that okay with you?
Okay. I won't worry
How thick
about
is it supposed to be?
What'd you say?
Turn what on? My volume, so I can hear them. My volume is all the way up, Daniel. So I don't know why I can't hear them. Stop calling him Daniel, he says. Okay. No, everything seems like it's working. Except that yeah,
Can you hear me
I can't
now?
hear. Like okay, so I'm not gonna worry about that. I know, it does look like she's saying something. Nell looks like she's trying to say something. Okay, we
Cheryl,
have to
we
figure
can't
this out
hear you.
because we need to have some interaction here. Hold on. Yeah, it says I'm working.
We can hear you.
I tell you what, I will let Daniel figure that out, and I'm gonna keep painting. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up a new color. So the next color we're going to use. Oh, I need a reference bird. Here, I'll get it. There we go. All right, I got a reference bird. I have your reference bird. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is mix our green color, which this is my favorite color. So we do that, we're gonna mix a little yellow. We're gonna take our yellow first. So just take your palette knife and we're gonna take more yellow and just put that down. And then I'm gonna take a little green. So notice how much green. I'm gonna clean my palette knife off first. And I'm gonna take a little green. And I always put it off to the side first. I don't put it directly into the color. Just take a little bit and then add that in. And actually, I think I'll put a little bit more. So like I said, it's easier to add more than take it away.
Did anyone else see how much green she put in?
Yeah, I think that's the color I like. That's the color I like.
No, I'm still painting my sky.
I'm plugging my sky.
What was that? Is Eric trying to say something?
He asked how much green.
Oh, they may talk to each other. Nod your heads if you're talking to each other. Oh, good. Well, that's good. That's awesome. Okay, that's
Cheryl,
cool.
we're talking to you also.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna use our number 14 brush again. We're gonna wet it and pick
My
up some
picture's
of that
gonna look
color,
crazy.
that green. And I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that same kind of motion. Up and down, and we're just kind of merging it in with that blue. And actually, I'm going to add some more green. I'm thinking I'm a little bit too yellow here. So I'm going to add some more green. And again, this is personal preference. However you want your green to be is how it shall be. I think I'm going to even add maybe a little white to this just to take some of that yellow edge off. Because I want a different kind of green. Okay, I think that I like that better. So I'm gonna go pick up that color and start again. And just don't forget your sides. Okay, so as long as you guys are having a good time, that's what this is all about. And I'm going up to meet my color up above. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to stop. I want to overlap. And all the
Does
way.
anyone know the answer to the question?
Oh wait, what's the question?
Okay.
Where does It's a Wonderful Life take place?
Bedford Falls. I'm pretty sure. I feel like it was taped in New York.
Oh, it is? Oh, well, see, I don't know that if you don't tell me. I can't. See, I need eyes in the back of my head. Just like you need to be faster, I need eyes in the back of my head. So I understand that there's trivia on the screen. Oh, where does It's a Wonderful Life? Boy, you went through the whole different season with the trivia. That's funny. Okay, I'm having to mix up a little bit more green because I ran out. That's okay. A little less yellow this time. I can't tell because I don't have an extra. Okay, where's the chat thing? Let's see, where is it? Chat. There it is. Ooh, we can hear you, but you can't hear us. Okay, we asked how much green to use. Cheryl, can you show us the? Okay, so okay, so I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna mix that green again. Are you guys okay on the green? Look at you guys are laughing at me. Nicholas, I saw you laughing. Y'all are all laughing at me. Okay, so you all have your green. So the yellow and the green. So it's up to you how intense or yellow or white you want that. Do it one more time, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Let us start with yellow. So last time I mixed this, I mixed the yellow and I put less. So I'm gonna put a little more green this time. So you see how much green I have to my yellow? I'm gonna add that in. And I didn't like just the yellow and the green together. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna add some white. So I added a little white. And that gives me this like creamy pastel-y color, which I like a little better. So it gives us a green hue. Okay. All right. So Eric said you have to get me in on the chat, Danny. So that I can hear what they're saying, but for some reason this. So what we found out when we did this last night to the Hummingbird, and what we found out is that depending on the security, but see, this is our link. This is not their link. We created this link. Last night we had we worked with a library. And the library had super intense security, and we had lots of limitations. So yeah, it does depend on the security, but I'm not sure why you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you. Oh well, we'll have to live with that, huh? Hey, when I do Facebook Lives, people don't talk to me at all. You know, because they're so busy painting that nobody wants to stop and type in the chat window. So this is actually, you know, a little bit better because I can at least see that you guys are having a good time. So that's what matters. Okay, so I'm going all the way and I'm just making sure I have real nice brush strokes. I'm doing a light stroke right now. When you want to get rid of brush marks, you just stroke lightly across the canvas. Okay, so we're ready to go to that very important step of blow drying our canvas. So if you're all set, like if your canvas is totally covered, that means you're ready for the blow dryer. Let me see, did the audio connect to Blue? Oh, you know what? Maybe,
Turn off.
oh, my Bluetooth is on. Who said that? Who came up with that solution? Nicholas. Hey, Nicholas, thank you. Okay, let me do that because I did have my Bluetooth music on. I am about to nix that. Let's see.
Did
just
y'all
connect
sky
the
have
Bluetooth.
white spots on it?
Yeah, tons of white.
I can hear you.
Hey, Cheryl. How you doing?
How are you?
Great, thank you. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, see, it takes, what? 18 heads are better than one.
Yeah.
Or two. Excellent. Okay.
Cheryl, you're really minimizing how challenging this is, Cheryl.
Hey,
This is great though.
Is the center
find out who's got what?
dark?
Oh, does someone have an answer to the trivia question? Raise your hand.
Bedford Falls? B?
Who said that?
I took it a hair.
Oh, Nicholas. Sorry, Nicholas is cheapest pet tonight.
Did I get it?
Answer.
It's Bedford Falls. Yay!
I feel like I got taped somewhere in New York or something. I feel like that's why I know it.
Definitely New York.
Okay, so I'm gonna get my blow dryer. So we're going to go on mute for a second, right after I plug this in.
Y'all did?
Okay, so I'm gonna plug my blow dryer in. You guys get your blow dryer if you don't have it handy. And then I'm gonna mute you so you don't have to listen to this blow dryer.
Okay. Yeah, Angela, I can't get all my white spots to go away.
Me either.
I like the white spots.
You like
Yeah.
it?
They're clouds. Let's say that.
I intentionally put white spots.
That's a good point.
Like a dark line in the center. How do you get rid of this dark line?
Yeah, I have that too because it's where the
Small
green and
brush
blue
strokes.
overlap.
She
Maybe
said
it's
to
more
overlap
blended
it.
like hers is.
Maybe she has more green on it than we do.
I think you followed directions. She said to overlap it.
More
I don't know.
water.
Mine doesn't look
It
great
may
yet.
dry a little better too. I think I'm taking. Oh. I need to get I need to get a glass of wine though. I know this is all paint, no sip.
Yeah, y'all need to be sipping. Please sip on half. Struggle is real over here.
I think I might get more confidence as I drink a little bit more, and then the art will flow, you know?
Yeah. It's like speaking a foreign language.
Ooh. Got them put blue in the green.
Does it look good? I was thinking about doing that.
Does everyone else have hair
No.
dryers? I don't have a hair dryer.
I have to go get mine. I'm gonna get a refresh. Or as Southern folks call it, a patch on my drink. You always have one drink.
I love how everybody's their blow dryer. Nicholas is blow drying his the manual way. Or I'm sorry, Eric is. Eric is blow drying.
Eric, there has to be a blow dryer.
We're blowing on it, right?
You all have a blow dryer in your house?
I do. Will
I have one
Cheryl,
of-
does blow, is the manual way more of a natural air drying process? I feel like I wanna.
They'll be here for 4 hours though.
I know. I upgraded to one of those like blow dry brushes, so now I don't have like a normal blow.
Oh, I've been wanting to get one of those.
I always want to buy the ones that are like for hotels that are just on the wall. I don't have that one yet though, so I can go get one.
Mommy?
Okay, you guys, I'm gonna give you a few minutes to blow dry while I take a
Cheryl, are you listening to us, Cheryl? No.
And when you get done, wow, wait.
Oh God.
So when you get done blow drying, you want to go ahead and get started with your tracing. And of course, you're going to put the shiny side down And for the data peeps, how many days after opening a bottle of wine is it good for? Interesting. Your shiny side is gonna go down. And then we're gonna just lay that image right on top.
Okay,
And the best way to do this is to use a ballpoint pen, but you can use a pencil as well. What?
Who has the
And yeah,
I
let me
like
find
this
my.
classical music vibe.
Oh, you put it right here. Such a good son. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. When you guys get your canvases dry, you go ahead and get started. And I usually start from left to right so that I don't forget where I was. And also a little tip, don't remove your hand from the canvas and the paper until you lift it up and check what you've done, because chances are you missed something. So don't worry so much about the details on the wings or the tail. The only detail you want to be concerned about is the center here and the flowers, because our brush strokes are going to create the wings and the tail. So just going to go like this. You don't have to press too hard. Actually, I'm just going to make the shape so that we have an idea which direction the tail feathers go. And then I'm going to do this little curvy area because that's consistent with how the bird is shaped. And then I'm going to make his beak a little longer. And go right under the little belly. And then this little line, and then this little area. And the eyeball. And then I'm going to start on the flower. And really all you need is the shape just to get where it is, because our brush strokes are going to create the flower petals. Uh-oh, is Nell calling me again?
No.
I don't know who Robert Duvall is.
See.
Who that?
I said it's Robert De Niro, so you know I'm really not.
And then there's our last leaf, and then we're doing this little last flower here down in the corner. And then I'm just gonna lift up, see what I missed, because I always miss something. Oh, I didn't miss anything this time. Ta-da! Okay, so does anyone, there's a trivia question. Oh, okay. You know, I can multitask, but this is ridiculous. Okay, so which of the following films did Robert Duvall not appear? I don't think these guys know who Robert Duvall is.
I do not. Who is that?
Yeah, look.
He was Bradley.
He was
who gave the answer?
I know he was.
He
in
was-
a Mockingbird.
He was in the news.
Yes, he was definitely in killing To Kill a Mockingbird.
Who was he in To Kill a Mockingbird?
It was Boo Radley, right?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
That's absolutely correct. And then what else? There's what, 3 more answers. Does anyone know the answer?
He was in The Godfather. I don't know anything about the other two, though.
Yep, he sure was in The Godfather.
He wasn't in Tender Mercies.
Who
An
said
educated
that?
guess, Nick.
Yeah, I think it's C. He wasn't in Tender Mercies.
And the answer is?
Dang it.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I had a 50.
Oh man.
Tender Mercies I never saw.
Yeah,
But I'd seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, so I knew it wasn't in that one. That
I
one
did too
was
instead of reading the book in high
technical.
school.
Okay, next step. Okay, so this is super fun step, you guys. So I'm gonna wait for you, and in the meantime, The color we will be using next is my very favorite color in the whole world, which is Phthalo Blue. That is the blue that we have been using for the sky, but now we're going to use it for the wings. And we're going to need a little bit. We're going to use about this much. I'm just going to put it right on top of this other blue. I love Phthalo Blue because it reminds me of the ocean. It's just the most beautiful color. And yeah, that's the first color we're going to use. So when you get done with this hummingbird, you're going to be an artist for sure. Okay, tell me, raise your hand if you have not transferred your image to the canvas. 1, 2, okay.
I'm working on it.
I'm waiting.
I'm gonna go rogue. You don't need to wait for me. I had bedtime, dinner time, all
You
day.
sneak up and do that to me. You know, one of these days I'm gonna do something like that to you. See if you like it. Okay. Oh, Jessica said it. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. Did not see that, Jessica. Good job. Okay, so those people who are not finished tracing your canvas, we'll give you 30 seconds more.
Hey.
And then in the meantime, we're gonna do the same technique for the wings using our number 14 flat brush that we used at the very beginning to do those sample strokes. Okay? So I'm taking a little sip of water and I am ready to go. I'm ready to hit those wings. Danielle, I see you have little people assisting you.
Assisting might not be the right word, but.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started because it won't be hard for you to catch up because we're just gonna use the same stroke that we use at the very beginning. So the technique is you wanna make sure that your brush has some level of moisture in it, okay? But not dripping. There should not be any water dripping out of your brush. So to ensure that it's not dripping, you just wanna lay your brush on a paper towel, lay it lightly. You don't wanna bruise the ends of your brushes. You want a nice, crisp tip to your brush like this. Okay, and then we're gonna go in and pick up some Phthalo Blue because we just love Phthalo Blue. It's a beautiful color.
There we go.
And we're just using the very tip of the brush. And we're gonna employ that technique that we used at the very beginning of the class. And we're gonna start at the body and we're gonna go up. And it's gonna be the same slow motion, nice and slow. You can move your wrist. And we're just gonna create this first line. And you just lift up. Okay, so now that we have that first line in place, now we can go a little willy-nilly with the strokes. So, Danny likes that when I say willy-nilly. So we're just gonna do this. So we're just laying down a brush and then flicking it out towards the air. Towards the sky. Okay. And then we're gonna pick up some more Phthalo Blue. And we're gonna do the same thing with the lower wing. We're just taking our brush nice and slow We're not pressing hard. We're making a thin, straight line all the way out to the end of our wing. Okay? Then we're gonna go back to the body and then we get to do our willy-nilly strokes again. We're flicking that color out towards the air. Then we'll go back to the top and just bring out some of that color. And we're just flicking, and we want to have some nice thin strokes. And now I'm going to rinse. And I'm wiping off the excess blue onto my paper towel. And my next color I'm going to pick up is yellow. So we're going to do, with our palette knife, pick up some yellow. And make sure your brush is clean when you do this. And then we're going to pick up some orange.
Okay, wait.
And what we're going to do, we're not going to worry about mixing those two colors together. But you do need to make sure that your brush is clean. So swirl it around in the water and then tap it on your, wipe it on your towel until there's no color coming out. Okay, then just pick up a little more water and go over to your yellow and orange and just kind of pick up both colors. Like that. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. Again, these are your wings on your bird. So we're gonna go
Mine don't look
towards the center of the bird and just start stroking some more color out. And if you run out, just go back, pick up some yellow and some orange. And this is your creation, so don't worry about how it looks. It's your hummingbird. Now I'm going to go down to the lower wing and do the same thing with these two colors. And make sure you don't have too much paint on the end of your brush. We're still making straight lines that we're fanning out. And I love the music that you're playing, whoever's playing that.
I just traced the bird without the graphite.
What was that?
I traced the bird without the black graphite paper.
Oh, you did?
That was my problem. It wasn't working.
Nothing was there. I was like,
oh no. I hate when that happens. I have done that before.
I forgot how tracing paper worked, apparently.
So now I'm reading the comments, so wait. Yeah. No, it's okay for you to do the bird backwards. You mean facing the other direction? Oh yeah, that's cool. That's totally cool. Hey, not everybody flies to the same beat of the same drummer, right? So yeah, shiny side down. Pretty sure I said that. Let me see who didn't get it.
You did.
I thought you were the tech brain here.
I just confused.
Can you repeat how to make the wings so fluttery?
So it's all in the stroke. It's in that stroke that we did at the very beginning. So I'll demo it again if you like. I'm gonna try to do it on my tracing or my palette paper here. Hold on, let's see.
And which brush are you using?
I think there's room on my palette paper, Adriana. I'm gonna demo it again for you, okay?
Thanks,
So
I'm
here's
sorry,
how it
I was
goes.
stuffing my face.
You were stuffing your face. Okay, that explains it.
I know.
Okay, so here, so first of all, you don't want a lot of paint on your brush when you're doing this, okay? Because otherwise you're gonna get fat lines. You don't want fat lines except for at the base. So all you're doing is you're laying down your brush like this. I hope this is showing. I can't. Oh, I want to see, make sure I'm doing this right. So you
Yes,
can see
I
it.
can see it.
Oh, he gave us a close-up. Yay, Danny, thank you. Okay, all right, let me find the best place on my palette to do this. Okay, I think it's right here. Okay, this is good. Okay. Keep this angle on my hand. This way? The other way. Okay, fine. Oh, you mean like whatever. Okay, so like this. And then see how it starts out fat and then it goes thin. So you press and you lift. As you stroke, you lift. Okay, so
Thanks.
you start here and you get a longer line. Okay, so that's how you do that. Got it?
Got it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Excellent. All right.
To Cheryl's credit,
go
she
back
told
on.
us this was an intermediate painting, and we decided we were up for the challenge.
I'm gonna pick
I
up
said
a
we should
lot of
go
yellow.
there.
Yeah, we.
And I'm gonna go into the base of the orange that I've already laid down, and I'm gonna bring out some more yellow at the end of the leaf. So we have this burst of color at the end. And again, make sure you don't have too much paint on your brush and you'll get these strokes right.
Mhm. What did you used to do, babe?
Ready. Okay, so now we're gonna go down to the tail feathers. And we gotta do the same thing. You want a nice edge on your brush. And we're gonna go in and pick up our Phthalo Blue. Make sure you dabbed out any excess water before you went into blue so it's not drippy. So there's no dripping going on here. Paint is fast to the brush. It's not gonna drip off. And then we're just gonna go over to the bird's tail, start right at the base, lay your brush down. And then we're doing that straight line again that we did earlier. And we're just gonna make our first line nice and straight. And if you run out of paint, just stop what you're doing and go back to your palette and get some more.
Yeah,
There's our first line.
I told him he could. Honey.
So then we're gonna go back down to this under feathers and do the same kind of line. Stroke willy-nilly from the base, which is right here, down. And we're just stroking and flicking the brush. We're lifting the brush off the canvas as we get to the end of the stroke. So can you see that? How I'm just kind of pressing down and then lifting. Okay. And I'm going off to the other side. And I'm running out of paint, so I'm gonna go back and get some of this so we have some nice deep blue coming out. We want nice deep blue.
Cheryl?
That's okay. Actually, it's kind of nice if you have a little texture. It's a happy, what we call a happy mistake. Okay, so we got that all taken care of.
The orange color was made out of?
So this is the interesting part that we're gonna move on to next. We're actually gonna pick up a new brush to work with.
No, I did
So
yellow.
I'm
and
rinsing out my
green.
brush. I'm gonna take care of these brushes. I'm gonna do a little commercial right here real quick. And that is to show you my wonderful brush cleaner. It's called the Masters. And you can get it on my website, but you can get it on Amazon too. And what you do is just make sure that you just wipe your brush in like this. And I know I'm not going to use this brush for a while. That's why I'm cleaning it. But for you, you could do it just with some soap, some dishwashing soap. But it's just so you can preserve the longevity of your brushes. And then once you rinse it again in water, and I guess it's time for me to change that water because it feels very murky. Then you know your brush is clean. You can just lay it down on your paper towel. See, no more paint. Okay, so I'm gonna lay that brush down. Our next brush is our number 12 fancy brush. So the cool thing about the number 12 brush is once you wet it, and probably yours should still be like this because it's brand new, you have this fabulous, point on the end of this brush that covers a lot of area at the same time. So this brush does a couple of things, and I will demonstrate that to you before we start on the body of the bird. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna pick up, as you can see, my brush is nice and pointed. If yours isn't, just wet it and then lay it down and twirl it. Just twirl it like that, and you'll get that point. So this point on the end is super important because we're going to be going into very small areas on the bird, okay? We have to do these with this small end. So as you can see, there's a lot of water in my brush, but I had to do that in order to get the point back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my paper towel. I'm going to lay it down on the paper towel and let the paper towel suck all the water out of the end of the brush. And as you can see, I still have the point on the end of my brush. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the Phthalo Blue, and I'm picking up a little color on the end of my brush. What this brush can do is very thin lines. I'm going to demonstrate that. So basically, you see that little hair that seems to be hanging off the end of my brush? That's what I'm going to paint with, okay? I'm not going to put hardly any pressure on this at all. I'm just going to lay it down really lightly and look at how thin that line is. You see how thin it can be? At the same time, they can't see it? Oh, okay, I'm fine. Okay, so, and at the same time, not only can this brush make that very fine line I just showed you, but it can also do this. And it can also do this. Okay, so, and I got that line just by pressing down and turning it a little bit with my wrist. So that's a fancy, fancy technique. It's so fancy. It'll take you probably 2 tries to get it. So you just press down and you flip. We're going to use that stroke for our flower petals. Okay, press down and flick. Press down and flick. Okay, so I just want you to know the power of this brush is going to be used to get into those small areas on the bird, okay? So I'm going to rinse that out since I've demoed that to you. My brush is soaking wet, and I'm just going to twirl it like this to get the point back again. It's loaded with water, too much water to paint with, so I'm just going to lay it on my towel and let the towel soak the water out of my brush. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to pick up some orange. I'm going to pick up some orange on the tip of my brush, and I'm going to get a lot of it. See how much? And I'm going to go to my bird, and I'm just going to start dabbing in some color right here at the tip of his tail. You can do whatever you want. I'm even going in and filling in some areas where I missed with the blue. And I'm just dabbing this color in. I'm picking up quite a bit of paint because that's going to be interesting when you're done with this to see that texture of the paint. And then just dab it. Now, if your brush is too wet, you're going to get like, you know, a watery kind of effect. So stop what you're doing and lay your paintbrush on your paper towel and let the paper towel suck that extra water out. And then go back to picking up some paint so you can do this along with me. And then we're just dabbing. Now maybe I'll pick up some orange. I mean, some yellow. I forgot my colors. Just go in and pick up some yellow and just dab it right on top of that. Okay, because hummingbirds have all kinds of different colors on them. They're iridescent. So what we're doing here is we're just, you know, kind of being our own little creator, and we're creating these hummingbird colors. And actually I'm putting quite a bit. This is so thick what I'm laying down. I'm not stroking, I'm just dabbing. Thank you for that technical term, Danny. And we're dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. And now I'm feeling like, oh, maybe I want some more orange. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna pick some more orange up, a lot of it. I'm not stroking, I'm just dabbing. Are you zooming in? Can you zoom in? Oh, you are zoomed in. Thank you so much. You are so wonderful. Dab, 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 dab. Even if it's like little bubbles of paint, don't worry about it. Just dab, dab, dab. Dab, dab, dab. And now I'm gonna be all crazy. I'm gonna mix some orange and yellow together. And I'm gonna pick that up and I'm gonna start dabbing. And we're just dabbing until we get to this little point right here. And we're gonna use the tip of our brush and we're just dabbing that in. And we're gonna have just some cool colors when we're done on our hummingbird. Don't leave any spots. If you see some spots, go back of green, you know, from underneath, go back and fill them in. Or not, it's up to you. It's your bird. What's that? Oh yeah, they're concentrating. I know. That's what happened. So people always ask me, or in fact, someone came into the studio today and she's like, don't you have a problem with people getting too drunk when they do a paint and sip? And I'm like, no, because they get so focused on painting, they forget all about the sipping part.
Yeah.
They get in the zone.
I haven't forgotten.
Oh, and so that reminded everybody they needed a sip.
In fact, thanks for the reminder. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
Better every sip.
So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go under that little area that I just painted. And I think we're gonna do some phthalo green. We haven't used that. Oh wait, yes we have. We used that for the sky, or for the grassy area, or the, whatever you would call that. It's our abstract grass. So to do that, we're just gonna go and pick up some phthalo green. And we're gonna use this. Actually, this is what you guys have is phthalo green. I don't have it. Can I have some phthalo green, please? Or it might be something right here. Nope, that's not it. Thank you. Yes, this is the green one. Hmm? Yes, they do. They don't? Well, okay. Never mind. Okay. Just never mind. Never mind me. Okay. So I wanted some phthalo green. I thought you guys had phthalo green, but maybe you don't. Okay. So at any rate, we're going to use a green. And we're doing the same thing. We need to have our point on the end of our brushes. Okay. And actually here, why don't we do this? Why don't we take our green and add a little phthalo blue to it. So that way you'll have an interesting green. Okay. So we're just going to add like that much blue to the green. And then just kind of mix that in. Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. We want that color. Okay. Then I'm just going to go in and just pick up some color. Now this time, we're going to do a slightly different technique. So notice how much paint I have on my brush. And this time I'm just gonna lay in the color like this. I'm just gonna press like this. Kind of like we did before, but a little different. It's making like little bird, not scales. What do they have? Feathers, I guess. They have feathers, okay? So kind of like that. So we're still just dabbing. There's no painting going on. It's just dabbing, but in a slightly different way with more pressure. Can you see that? So we're just dabbing a little differently. Did I move? I'm good? Okay.
We got you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that's fine. So we're just dabbing. And we're gonna go like halfway underneath our yellow and red colors. And then we'll stop like right there. And then I'm gonna shake out the water on my brush. Right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up some of my green, and this time you guys, we're gonna go with more yellow green. So if you already have green on your palette, we're gonna add a little yellow to that. So I'm just gonna put some over here to the side. And I'm gonna pick up a little of my phthalo green or my regular green, and I'm gonna add a little bit to the yellow, and it's gonna give me a brighter green, and that's what we want. We want like that kind of iridescent green that we started with earlier, but it wasn't right. So we're gonna put this on the back of the bird, on the top of the bird, I mean. Okay. So we're gonna start about right here, or wherever you like, really. We're gonna go right underneath the wing area. Actually, we probably need a little bit more green here to start with. Starting with the darker green.
That looks like my grass.
Yeah, so if it's matching the grass too much, go ahead and put some darker green with it.
Okay.
So you have that contrast.
We're still using the more pointy brush, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I'm gonna pick up, now that I have that darker green, I'm gonna go underneath it with the lighter green that I just mixed. And since it's wet, you're gonna kind of blend it. Okay, and we're gonna start, stop like right there. And maybe now I'm gonna add just some yellow on top of this green that I laid down. Just to make things interesting. And again, just because we finished, I probably didn't say this yet, but just because we finished the bird during this session doesn't mean you can't go and add additional touches to it later. So, and as I mentioned before, there are the videos online. So I know that the painting sessions seem to go a little bit faster than, probably you would do it on your own. So don't worry about that, because there's there's videos online where, on my YouTube channel, where you can go back and you can go over what you've already done to enhance it or create highlights. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick up another color now. And this happens a lot because hummingbirds are full of color, right? So I'm gonna pick up some red now. That's a color we haven't used yet. So I'm gonna pick up just a tiny bit, because we're just gonna do a little space of it. And I put the lid back on my little container. I'm twirling my brush to get my point back again. And then I'm laying my brush down on the paper towel to soak out the excess water. And then I'm just gonna go in and pick up some red, just on the tip. And we're gonna do the same kind of dabbing technique now, okay? So we're gonna come up right underneath where we just painted. And we're just gonna do like maybe a triangle shape, like in the shape of the bird. Round, so we're gonna create a round shape.
This chat is hilarious.
And then we're just dabbing. Dab, dab, dab.
My fingers are covered in paint. I don't know how y'all are doing.
Okay, so that was just a little area, right? So we're gonna go ahead and shake the water, shake the color out. Let's go and pick up some more phthalo blue and go right next to that red. We don't need to touch the red, but we're just gonna dab right next to it. And it doesn't matter how you shape this. Just come kind of, you know, right next to the blue or the red. And just dab that color in. Okay, so now I'm feeling like I need to go back and pick up some of my green again. Your darker green. And I'm gonna do some more of those little bird feather shapes until I touch the red. And try not to touch it with the green because I'm afraid of what kind of color will come out of that combination. Pretty sure it's brown. But just dab, you know, kind of like we did before. Okay, we got the green. So this is interesting. So now we're gonna take some of our phthalo blue and put it in with this red that we have. We're gonna create kind of a purple, but you need to clean your brush first, which I didn't just now. So I'm shaking that off. I'm getting my point back, twirling on my paper towel to get the extra moisture out. And I'm gonna take some of my phthalo blue and I'm adding just a little bit. See how much? To get purple, you can't add too much blue to your red, okay? So we're just gonna add this phthalo blue into the red. So we get something that resembles purple.
Okay.
Okay. So it's kind of a reddish purple. We don't want it too dark. But that's up to you. If you want it darker, that's totally up to you. I might add a little bit more blue to this. Yeah, I think I like this better. Okay, so let's take this purple now, and we're gonna cover the belly with it. We're gonna cover the little belly. So, and then we're gonna do with the tip of the brush. So I still have my point. And I'm gonna start here. What's the matter? Huh? What are you laughing about? I keep kicking the pole. Oh. You know, can't be perfect. So here, notice the stroke that I'm using. It's just the tip of the brush. And I'm actually starting, so this is how we're gonna give the bird a little depth. So he doesn't look like such a flat bird. So we're gonna take the tip of the brush and we're moving lightly across the canvas again. So we're just taking the tip and we're going a little bit outside of that carbon line that we made, right? So we're starting and pulling up in a curve. Here, my brush is not wet enough, so I'm not getting the effect I want. So I'm going back. And I'm just going a little bit under that line, and that gives me the sense that these feathers are curving underneath his tummy. See that? And we're gonna go right up to where this little point is. I'm gonna go right here. Let's just curve it a little bit, because we're the creators, so we can do whatever we want here. And we're just taking nice light strokes. You can overlap a little bit onto the red, but just in kind of like feather strokes. So just keep those strokes all the way up to where you hit the blue. And you're pressing and lifting so you can cover the area, but at the same time, kind of mimicking what the feathers would be. And then we're going to go over these a little bit later to help add some definition to that area. We'll overlap them with those strokes with some highlights, like, you know, you get in your hair. Okay. So now let's take that purple that we just created. Did they get pink? They didn't get magenta because we didn't get that till later, sorry. So if you paint with us next time, we have all new colors, really exciting colors. Did you guys get a color that looks like this? Did you get this color?
Pink type color.
We have pink.
You did, yay!
Yeah, we have that.
Oh, that's magenta, yes, yes, that's the color we want. Outstanding, all right. Okay, so we don't even have to make any more purple. Let's go all the way wild and use some of that magenta. Wow. All right, so I'm just gonna pick up a little bit because you only need a little bit, and you can use these paints again and again, paint more masterpieces. So go ahead and lay down some of that magenta. And I'm just gonna mix it in with the purple that was already on my brush because they kind of go together. And I'm gonna take that color and I'm gonna dab it in here next to this blue. Just use the tip of your brush and you'll be able to squeeze into that little area. And then follow that along. And actually, like I said, like I'm stopping and starting in certain places, but where you start and stop is up to you. Mine are just suggestions for you. But ooh, look how pretty that looks next to that. Ooh. And then we're gonna take this all over the top of his head, this fuchsia color, instead of purple. That purple underneath needs some vibrancy next to it. So yeah, let's dab this. Let's make this heavy and thick because when it dries, it'll dry flat. But if we put it on a little bit, like an intense color, and that's what we want. So we're gonna go all the way around the eye with this, all the way to the front of the beak. So we're gonna stop about right here. So I'll just go ahead and put this so you know where we're gonna stop, or not, you know, like I said, it's up to you. So yeah, just keep dabbing all the way around the head. And don't be afraid of the paint. Just go ahead and put as much as you like. Happened to our trivia. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh. Okay, someone's taking a break. Our birds are cousins. My tail feathers are bigger than the bird will be. This is the hardest thing you've ever done, Eric? So now guess what? Everything else is easy after this, right?
Fair enough. Sounds right to me.
Okay, awesome. So Danielle's taking a break. She'll be back. She has to tuck the kids in. Okay, so we got this beautiful pink, this magenta color. You know, I think this would be really cool mixed with some red. Wish I thought of that before. That's okay. I think this is the first class we used the magenta, huh, Danny? Excellent, excellent. So, my next color, I think, is going to be, I think I want to go back to some yellowish orange. Oh, what questions do you have? Oh.
Today I wanted a heart.
Let me see. What's the Wizard of Oz question? I like the Wizard of False. The Tin Man wished for a heart. The Tin Man wished for a brain. Yes, I would say that's correct. Jessica said false.
False, yeah. The scarecrow. They had the original.
She is correct. Yay! Okay, so the next area we're going to paint is the green underneath. I'm sorry, the blue around the eye. And to do that, we're just going to take a little white. And we're going to throw a little phthalo blue into that mix. Oops, I guess mine is all dried up, so I need some new phthalo blue. And we're making like a little powdery blue, or like I said, you can make it whatever color that you like. But I think it would be interesting to make it like that color. So that's the color I'm going to use. My palette. Oh, I see. Like this? Like that? Okay. All right. So I'm going to take some of this blue and I'm going to go right underneath, oh, I see what I did differently. Well, I'm going to make all this area blue. I changed things up a little bit, you guys. So I'm just going underneath this eye and I'm putting some blue here. And switched it up a little bit. And then I'm going to come back again with some green. Come back with some green. Try to stay a little consistent to the picture. The original. Even though everybody's is going to be different. There we go. And I'm still making like, to match the feathery strokes below, I'm doing kind of the same thing here. And then last but not least, I'm gonna go underneath his little chin area. And I'm gonna make it a little different. Always doing something a little bit different. And I'm gonna go and just put some of this lighter green underneath this. Of course, to show the contrast between the background. And when you get in these small areas, we're not putting a lot of pressure. We're just using the tip of the brush to make these little fine lines. And so now maybe I want to lighten this up a little bit. Maybe I'm going to add a little white and a little lighter green. And I'm not worried about how heavy this is because it makes it interesting. Okay, and I'm going back for some phthalo blue again. Where's my phthalo blue? Oh, I used it already. Okay, I'm gonna go back for some phthalo blue, and I'm gonna start in on his little beak. And then we'll come back to the eye area. I'm rinsing my brush. Not too much though, because these colors are all kind of similar that we're working with. So I'm gonna take some of the phthalo green and I'm gonna mix it with some phthalo blue, and I'm just gonna use the tip of my brush because now we're gonna go for a very important line. This is a line you don't wanna mess up because the hummingbirds don't have fat beaks, they have long skinny beaks. So we're gonna start right where we went underneath the tummy and we're gonna angle down. So we're gonna start here and then we're gonna make a slow, easy line down that way. So we're gonna start here with just the tip of the brush. And I started off kind of in a bad way because I didn't have enough liquid to help me with that line. You can practice this line first to make sure that your brush is loaded with the right amount of water and paint. And then again, you're just using those 2 hairs on the tip of your brush and you're gonna drag just those 2 hairs down. So you're making the thinnest line ever. Come to that little point. And if it feels like that's not thin enough or thick enough, you can always go back and repeat. But just remember, you're not putting a lot of pressure, you're just touching, just barely touching with that 2 little hairs that are left on the brush. So now I'm going to add some yellow because that's going to be interesting. I'm going to add some yellow and start going up to the top of the beak. And still, we're just using the tip of the brush. The last 2 little hairs. Now I'm going for some pure yellow here at the top. And how about some dark green across the top? So we can have that contrast between the background and the beak. And I think maybe I want some more of phthalo blue because it just feels like there's too much green. There we go, that's better. That feels better. And then if you want to just create like a little dividing line there a little bit. That's okay too. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my phthalo blue and I'm going to color his eye in. And then we're going to move on to our flowers because the eye is going to need some time to dry so that we can put the highlights in. So just same thing, let's dab that eye in. Don't stroke it because we want it to be as dark as possible. And then when we put the highlight on, we'll get dimension. Now I'm looking at my bird and I'm going, maybe I need some more definition here. If you feel like you want to do that, it's entirely up to you. Let's see. Oh, here, I'm going to do like some character lines, maybe. Just using the tip of my brush and just making some character lines on his beak. And then also I promised you that we would do some highlights on his feathers. So let's shake out some of that extra paint. And then for highlights, what should we do for highlights? How about a yellow-orange mix? And we're gonna go to this part right here. And just make sure you have enough water in your brush. And we're just gonna make some strokes that are in the shape of like feathers. So very light. Oh, gonna need some white. Need some white. A lot of times yellow is too opaque or too transparent. So it needs a little white to give it some opacity, some opaqueness, I mean. Okay, so that's better. So we're just gonna stroke just the tip, just to show the way the feathers work together. Okay. So we're gonna let that all dry. We're gonna go over to the flowers. And we get to use our wonderful magenta color again. And we're gonna use that stroke that I showed you a little while ago. So I'm gonna go over here on my dried up blue. That won't bother that color. So I'll demonstrate this stroke again before we try it on the canvas. And I'm just gonna pick up a little color. Can I see this? Okay. Down this way? The other way? This way? Okay. Okay. So it's that stroke that I showed you earlier. We press down and then we flick. And then you press down and then you flick. Press down and then you flick. And that's what we're going to use to create our little petals that we have. Okay. So our first stroke is press down. See what my brush is doing? And then I'm flick. And it looks like maybe I need some white in my magenta. Yeah, because that's not feeling too powerful to me. This is a new magenta we just purchased, so I don't know if I'm happy with that. Here, let me add some red to it. I'm gonna add some red to this magenta because it's feeling a little weak. We cannot have that. Yeah, that felt extremely weak. Okay, so to those two colors, the magenta and the red, I'm gonna go and pick up some white. And I'm gonna mix some of that into my little mixture here and see if we don't get something a little bit more powerful than what I just experienced. Okay, so did you guys catch that? So we started with magenta. The magenta is weak. And I said, let's put some red with that. So I put some red. And then I took some white and mixed it into those two colors. And now I think we have something that's a little more stronger. It's gonna go down a little bit better on the canvas, okay? So I'm going and I'm kind of filling my brush up. Okay, and then I'm twirling in a circle so I get my point back. And I'm going to the base of the flower like this. And then I'm stroking. Yeah, that's a lot better. And I press and I flick, press and flick, press and flick, press and flick, press and flick. Yeah, that's a little better. It'll take an additional coat. Sometimes, you know, acrylic paints take more than one coat. But yeah, so we're gonna do that same thing here. Press and flick. I need a little more paint, maybe that's what it is. Press and flick. Same thing here. And there. And there. And there. And we're going to do the same thing for this final little flower down here. We just press and flick, press and flick, press and flick. And same thing there. And same thing here. I hear you whispering over there. What are you saying? Are you talking to me? No? I'm starting to get very self-conscious. Danny's always like, you need to move this way, you need to move that way. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over this again, just because I see some spaces where my paint didn't do what it was supposed to do in terms of covering up the line, and that's okay. And this doesn't have to be perfect, these lines. There. Now, without changing my brush or cleaning it, I'm just gonna go and dip my brush into some white. And I'm gonna twirl. And I'm gonna go back. And I'm just gonna flip. And just keep rotating around. So I'm going back and I'm twirling. And I'm taking off the excess. And I'm going over my other strokes. Doesn't have to be perfect because this is the hummingbird in abstract. Everything about it is abstract. And then I'm doing one more time here. Okay, so we have 3 lovely little flowers. Okay, so then we have this lovely little, I don't know what you call that center of the plant. I'm sure I had it in a botany class at one point in my life, but I have totally forgotten. Please feel free to chime in if you know what it's called. Wait, who said that? Katie said, I don't want to brag, but my bird is dope. Okay, Katie, let's see it.
Yeah,
let's
hold
see
it up.
it.
I can't see it. Oh, there we go.
Oh, wait, she froze. Katie, you froze.
Good.
Dang.
Awesome.
Oh, see, I can't see you, but can you do it one more time? Because now you unfroze.
My internet's kind of.
Oh, yeah, it is. She's like, I don't know about you, but my bird is dope.
Let's see everybody else's.
Okay. So now what the color I'm gonna mix is a reddish orange because I think those little things in the middle, whatever they call it, they need reddish orange. So we're gonna pick up a little orange and we're gonna pick up a little red and we're gonna add it to that, give that orange some kick because orange is another one of those colors that can be notoriously transparent until you put like 2 or 3 coats on it. And actually, let's take a little yellow I'm gonna add a little yellow to this, just a tiny bit. See how much? That'll help it be more intense. And I like that color. So I'm going to go in and pick up some of this beautiful reddish orange with the yellow tones. And I'm going to start at the top and just start filling this in. Or actually, I'm going around the bottom. And I'm not stroking so much as just using the tip of my brush. And I'm really heavy-handed with the paint here. And actually, I'm going to pick up some more yellow on the side here. I'm going to add it to my orange mixture. And now I'm going to blend these colors until I get to the top of the flower. The closer I get to the top, the more yellow I'm going to add. So then when I get it to the very top, I'm looking at a yellow, more yellow top than red. And I think I'll even give it some texture, so it's not so round. It's not so perfectly round anyway. Then if we really want to make it interesting, we'll add some white. And then we're just dabbing it in to make it the brightest point of the flower, whatever that part is called. Well, someone knows what that's called.
Oh, the
this little center part.
Pistil. No.
What?
Pistil.
The stamen? That's not the stamen, is it?
I thought that was like the
That thing at the top
center.
of the flower.
Those are all parts of the flower.
Okay, so I'm dabbing my orange red just at the base. Dab, dab, dabbing. Then I'm mixing in some of my yellow to make it a little more brighter orange. And I've got more paint on my brush. And I'm not really stroking, I'm dabbing again. Now I'm gonna pick up some of this white from over here that was left over from my other shenanigans. And now I'm getting lighter and lighter. And this is where the sun is hitting the flower. It's so beautiful. And I'm looking over here and I want some more light, so I'm gonna put that in. And I'm just dabbing. And last but not least, we gotta get this little guy down here. And we're starting with our red orange base in a circular pattern. And as we move up to the top, we're adding in more yellow. So that by the time we get to the top, we're getting brighter and brighter. And now I'm adding in my final little bit of white to the top. And there we have that. Oh, I forgot to tell you the most important thing about this whole painting. Take a picture. Take a picture of your painting as you're painting it so you can see what amazing job you're doing. It's not until you take a photograph. It's like having another person look at your painting, but it's you. So take a moment and take a picture. And I promise you will be pleasantly surprised at what you see. Okay. Last but not least is our leaf. So what brush do you think? It's up to you because now you know how to master a straight line, right? So it's up to you. You can use your flat brush or you can use your number 12, which we were just using. I'm gonna use my number 14 because I'm more dependable, or if it feels more dependable to me, you know? So I'm gonna dip it in water. I'm gonna let the excess water, let the paper towel absorb the excess water. I'm gonna go to my green and I'm gonna pick up some green. I guess you guys can't see that, so I'm gonna turn this around. So I'm gonna go over to my green, gonna pick up my green, and I'm gonna make that straight line with my number 14 brush. Nice and easy. You can lift after every little inch. Oops, I made a boo-boo. And here, I'm gonna just go over. And I'm gonna go to the other side. And I'm using my 14 and nice line. And it's up to you if you want to use your 14 or your 12 to go in and hit your leaves. But just remember that the amount of pressure you put on your brush determines how fat the stroke is going to be. So when you get to those tight areas, make sure you're lifting up off your brush. You're lifting up the pressure. So I'm using my 14. Sometimes I use a 12 for this, but I'm feeling a little cocky today, so I'll go ahead and use my big bad 14 for this. And I'm running out of paint, so I better go get some more. Okay, so somehow this doesn't have a stem coming out, so I gotta make it. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix in a little yellow as a highlight for the side of my stem that is facing the sun. So, yeah, I'm gonna take some of this excess paint out of my brush. And we're gonna go to the other side. And I'm gonna do my straight line again on top of that darker green. And notice I'm, instead of trying to make a completely straight line, I'm just kind of dabbing and lifting. Just go back again and fill in some of this area that I can still see my carving lines. And of course, you don't want to forget to sign your work when you're done. I hope that you are all planning to hang your work. Oh, we forgot something extremely important. Extremely important. And that is we have to get that reflection on that eyeball so it looks round. Okay, so there's a trick to this. So you have a realistic looking reflection on your eye, right? So we want to make sure that our brush is nice and pointed like this again. You know, we want to wet it, let the paper towel soak out the excess water, and then turn it to get your point like that. And you can see that hair again, right? You see that angry little hair sticking out the end of the brush? So that's going to be our guide. When we attempt to make something look dimensional in terms of highlights, we want to make the highlight in the shape of the object. So the eyeball is round, so we want to make the highlight in a round shape. So let me demonstrate this to you before you try it. But basically, notice how much paint I have on my brush. It's just covering those hairs on the end. So I'm gonna go to my little guy, and his eyeball is round. So I'm gonna make his highlight in a crescent shape. So I'm just gonna go around this. I'm just dabbing with the tip of my brush. Okay. And then, of course, the eyeball is super round, so every line I make should be round as well. And that gives us the effect of a dimensional eye. Don't overthink it and don't overdo it. Great, I just put my hand in the paint. So funny. Okay. So here, so like maybe this is something you want to do. I'm going to just try this because I've never done it before. How about if there was another color on my wings? I'm going to pick up some of this blue that's just sitting here minding its own business. And I'm going to go back and add some color to my wing without hopefully putting my hand in the paint again. So you can put highlights anywhere you think they'd be pretty. So just add that. And voila. There you have it. Oh, and you know what I should do before you go is give you the link to the Hummingbird painting in case you want to reference it.
Can we take a Brady Bunch view photo of everyone's paintings too? For y'all sign off.
Oh, Nell, I can't hear you. Hold on, let me turn it up. Say that again?
Oh, I was asking everyone if we could take a Brady Bunch view of everyone holding up their paintings.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Hold on just a second. Don't do it till, hold on, let's see.
I think everyone's still adding touches, so we will hold on.
Yeah. It's on that sheet. The Hummingbird is on that, whatchamacallit sheet. Beautiful. Eric, it's the hardest thing you've done. He is a very interesting bird.
Oh, Eric, are you showing yours off?
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that.
he's frozen. I'm seeing him frozen. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting bird. Well done. Well done.
Beautiful.
Okay, I'm here, but to keep them up for a while because people are still working, and I'm hoping
I'll
that-
count down in like a couple minutes. Eric, that's good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Listen, there was a whole 30 minutes there where there was fine details that I couldn't keep up with. I just went with orange and white.
He kind of reminded me of Toucan Sam.
Yeah, it's like a Sonic the Hedgehog meets Toucan Sam.
Oh yeah, I like those colors now.
Beautiful.
I'm snapping pictures left and right. You guys can't see me, but
Ooh, I love that everyone's is so different.
nice.
Okay, should
Nice.
I take a picture even if you don't have the most perfect thing, so then people who need to.
Oh wait, right now? Oh, okay.
No, I'm trying to get my screenshot tool ready.
Yeah, we're trying to get everybody.
Oh my God, are you guys still painting?
No.
I showed you.
Yes.
Wait, hang on.
Hey, they're so pretty.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2,
Oh,
3.
awesome. Yay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well done.
Did you get it now?
Well done.
Wait, I can't.
Oh, I can do one too. Here.
Okay, wait. Nicholas is coming into the picture, you guys. Do it again, please.
Ah. Sorry, I'm also.
Oh.
Okay, ready? 1,
Yeah.
2, 2.5. Struggling to get the track. Oh God. Sorry, y'all.
Excellent.
Okay. 3. Okay, I have it.
Yay, thank you.
Excellent.
Got a chunky hummingbird.
Here, I'll drop it in the chat.
Did you find the link?
Yeah,
Oh,
add your
I
individual
know where it is.
black too.
Before you guys go, I want to make sure you have the link that if you want to go back and touch up or anything, that you can have access to the recording. I'll turn this down. Open recent.
That's so cute.
I think we should all give it extra snaps for Kim's because her kit got stolen and she didn't steal it. It looks so good.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I heard about that.
Thank you for doing all that for me too.
It looks so like what? It's so good.
I will. You know what? I'll send it to Nell. Nell will have it. You
I
guys.
can send it out.
And we do have our sample, but yeah, the YouTube video would be great. I need to do a second one.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope you guys had a good time. You
We
don't put me on
did.
camera, did you?
We did.
So I hope you guys had a good time. And again, I want to thank Nell for finding me and reaching out to me and making this all possible tonight. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
then I also want to say, if you really did enjoy a great time here, I'm on Google, so you can, if you Google me and leave me a review, that would be outstanding. If you follow me on Facebook and want to paint with me again, I'm Studio 928C. Oh, he put all that stuff on there, so that
Yeah, that looks great.
That's fancy.
He got you. That was social media tag.
So yeah, so I thank you guys for letting me come into your homes tonight, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. So we'll sign off. I don't know if you guys can still stay on and chit chat, but yeah, we're just gonna clean up over here and drive home. But again, thank you for your time and take care, you guys, okay?
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Tomorrow.
Bye, y'all.
I do? Oh, okay. All right. I'm ending it. I have to end it. Still figuring that out. Okay. A little late with that.